Hi, folks. Thanks very much for joining us here today. Oh, I just moved this screen here. For this WordPress plugin webinar on marker.io. We're very excited to be here, and I will try not to keep you too long. I'm not sure where you're based. Actually, if you wouldn't mind typing in the chat where you're based, or what type of business you are. If you're a SaaS or an agency or whatever, and just typing it just to get a little bit of conversation going. I'm based in Ireland, and it's hot, hot, hot here. Hopefully this won't be the first webinar you've attended where the person speaking passes out. So we'll move things along. So I'm Joe, and I'm the head of success, customer success here in Marker.io, and Gary, the CEO, is joining me here today as well. Gary, would you like to say a couple of words, or is it too hot there in Belgium as well?
No, it's fine. All right. Thanks, Joe, for the introduction. So yeah, I'm Gary, I'm CEO at Marker.io, and we're really excited to have Joe handle this webinar. And the WordPress plugin is a brand new feature. It's been live for a little less than 2 months, maybe a month and a half. And today we're going to give you a great demo. So I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Gary. Yeah, we just have a very brief agenda here. We're just saying the welcome here. Oh, this is being recorded, so there's no pressure to take any major notes or anything like that. So grab your grab your ice cream and relax, and we'll put this on the website, or we'll put it on YouTube or wherever. So thanks again, Gary, for that intro. So we want to talk very briefly on why you could use Marker.io, and then we want to do a little demo of the plugin. And then, of course, you can ask questions at any time during the event, and we'll answer all those questions at the end. Okay, so Gary, we're 2 minutes past. Will we move on?
Yeah, sure. You go ahead.
Yeah, we'll move on because people are probably busy in that. So just briefly, Marker.io was born out of, so originally was an agency itself, and we're very, very aware of issues trying to track old clients and their bugs, or their client feedback, or their website issues, and just trying to organize all that. And it was very frustrating for us at the start, trying to track this through emails and screenshots and PowerPoint slides and all this sort of stuff. So we decided to develop this product, Marker.io, and it's been very successful. And we'll just talk here briefly through so yes, I mean, the main problem was trying to track bug reports and the frustration around that, especially as we're saying here, in the overflowing email channel. And it was very difficult to develop plans around those emails as well, especially if the information coming in wasn't, clear or maybe technical enough. So I'm just going to display a short example here, which I actually typed up myself. So we're going to say we're dealing with an agency. So I suppose the two characters we're going to deal with here, we have an agency with Anne. Anne is in the agency, and she'll be colored amber. And then we have a client, we'll say his name is Connor, and he'll be colored cyan. And the website we're talking about is this yogajar.net, just for an example. So here we're saying, we'll say, for example, Connor is on his website here, Yogajar, and he goes to the About Me page, and he sees that the contact button is broken. It doesn't do anything. So now he wants to email Anne at the agency and say, hey, Anne, can you sort this out? So he's saying, hi, Anne, I could not open the contact form. Can you urgently solve this? So Anne is already probably slightly frustrated because she's not sure what Connor is talking about. I'm sure you all have perfect clients that are more verbose than this. But she's saying, sorry to hear this, Connor. What device, OS, and browser are you using? Basically, Anne is trying to get very basic information, and especially what web page she's on. So I have to have a little drink of water here. So Connor says, hi, Anne, I was using Surface Pro, and it was the homepage. Anne replies back, hi, Connor, are you sure it was the homepage? I have tested with many browsers and all seem okay. And then it finally comes in, apologies, Anne, I meant the About Me page. So I know this is kind of trivial, this email. It doesn't seem like there's a whole pile going on here. But this, when you multiply this out over all of your clients and all of your customers, it can get extremely frustrating and time-consuming and challenging to kind of figure out what the client is talking about. And there's a lot of back and forth, as I'm saying here, to try to develop this actionable plan around the bug. So what Marker.io created then from this frustration, we are helping you connect your WordPress site seamlessly now with whatever project management tool you're using. So we integrate with many tools like Asana, ClickUp, Jira, Trello, and many more. Today, I'm actually going to just do an example, a demo with Trello, but we integrate with many, many other tools. And we're just trying to say as well that Marker itself is a very visual tool with lots of visual feedback. So the sharing is very clear and actionable. So I'm just going to go in here now and say that the same guy, let's say Connor, instead of sending his email, is dealing with marker.io. And now when he sees that the contact button is broken, he simply clicks on the report bug option over here. He points his arrow to this and he types in a contact button is broken. And he can fill out other description as well, but let's just keep it like that. And we'll send the feedback. Meanwhile, Anne is in her agency and she lives in Trello. Let's say that Anne, so Trello, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, it's a simple project management tool where you can organize and have boards. This is one board here on Trello with 3 sections to it, the to-do, the doing, and the done section. And Anne can now clearly see, as an agency, click on this report. She can see exactly what page that Connor was talking about. This is the About Me page. She has all Connor's contact details. She can see the critical information here, the browser he was using, the operating system he's using, and she gets a really, really clear screenshot of the issue. So Connor is talking about the About Me, the contact button on the About Me page. So Anne can very easily drag that issue into the doing column, and once she is repaired and tested and fixed, she can drag it into the done column. So that's all that Anne has to do now. She doesn't have to interact over email, or she doesn't have to really ask for any further feedback. It all just works seamlessly here. Meanwhile, in Connor's world, as we'll call it, he goes into his email. Sorry, now I'm just going to have to refresh this once. And you'll see here that he gets a very reassuring email from Marker saying, yeah, we received your feedback. We received the feedback, and there's a picture of it. And you can even go in and view the feedback that you sent. Now that I'm just going to go back to Anne for a second here. Now that Anne has corrected the feedback and put it into the done column, Connor will get a further email. Just give me one. It's after coming in now, actually, and it says the issue is now resolved. So Connor, isn't getting stressed out, and Anne isn't getting stressed out. It's all working very seamlessly, and we find that we really, I think what I'm trying to say is, once WordPress users and once agencies realize that we have this tool, they're really, really excited to use it, because as you can imagine, this reduces their workload by, I don't know, a lot anyway, we'll say. So I hope I'm not going too fast here, Gary. Was that reasonably okay? I think I pretty much covered the demo very quickly, but I know we're going to stretch it out a little bit here. You might ask me a few questions about how I set all this up.
Exactly. Brilliant job, Joe. I think it was very clear, and it's clear the value from the agency point of view to always stay in the project management tool, but also have this open line of communication with their clients. So that was brilliant. But I do have a few questions that usually come up when we do demos. And my first question is, can you show me exactly how as an agency, I'm supposed to connect my Trello board, so this health client Trello board, with my WordPress site?
Yeah, well, the way we'd recommend doing that really is, when you create your account with Marker at all, you will need to add a destination. So the destination is where you're going to save all the feedback from this particular website. And all you need to do to add your destination is this nice blue button over here that says Add Destination, if you believe it. And then you click on whatever integration you're using. So let's say that Anne also uses Jira, for example, since I already have a Trello board installed. So I can click on Jira here, and Anne can select whatever available project on Jira she wants to add, and she can add the website. So in my case, it was that Yoga Jar website, but you can add whatever website you want and add your destination. Then in your list of destinations, that destination will come up there as well. So for us, for this demo, I was using this health client destination. So then Anne, in her WordPress site that she's just created, she just logs into the back end of that. And then she goes to plugins. And then she needs to add a new plugin. and she's going to search the plugin, and we've kept it simple and just called it marker.io, and you search for that. Obviously, it's added here already, and you simply add that here. Now there are settings within that, but I might leave you ask more questions there. You might be getting to that next. But anyway, that's sorry. My apologies, Gary. You actually asked me how to integrate with the Trello. So within that, you'd go to settings excuse me. No, you go to settings and you go to marker.io, and you just. So I'll just going to disconnect it here now. But all you have to do is click on this blue button up here on the top left, and it click on connect here to marker.io, and it all realizes your account. It realizes your Trello board. So you just click here to select your destination. I'm going to select the Trello board here, select that, and it's all linked up. You don't need any JavaScript code. You don't need anything fancy. It all just pretty seamless like that.
Brilliant. All right, thank you. Second question, let's say as an agency, I want to be able to collect feedback through Marker.io from my client, but I don't want the website visitors, so the client of my clients, to be able to submit feedback. Is there a way I can control that?
Okay, I get you. I wasn't sure there, but I think what you mean so is, let's say, for example, I'll open up an incognito window here, where I haven't logged into WordPress at all, and we can see that the bug reporting button is appearing on this as well. And what you're kind of saying is you don't want any random person to log a bug in case you get a load of spam or anything like that. So I am going to, excuse me, just go back to the website. There is an option to do that. So Anne can go into her website here. She can go to marker.io and the settings, and she can select specifically what users she wants to be able to use this WordPress plugin. So generally what people tend to use is just use authenticated WordPress users. Sometimes we can even go down into specific roles, but generally just that they're authenticated at all, we're happy with that. We save the settings. And one thing I've learned over my years of using WordPress, make sure you do the old cache reload as well, just to make sure that everything is nice and fresh there. And now when we go into our incognito window and refresh, we see that the widget is removed from this user. So that's definitely going to help you reduce any spam that you might get from there, and make sure that it's so. And then we go back to Connor, who is logged in, and we just refresh that page and see that for Connor, who is logged in, of course, it's still there.
Perfect. That's brilliant. Thank you. I do have, let me check the existing questions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one good question. As my client doesn't have access to my Trello board or my project management tool, how do I get in touch with them if they do not have access to Trello?
Okay, there's no issue at all with that. We don't need the clients to have any access to our project management tools at all. But let's say for Connor there, when he reported this issue, let's say we wanted to know something additional, we can just click on this board here and simply contact Connor via Marker here, clicking on this. And we open up this completely open view where we can say something like, hey, Connor, does this look okay now? We'll say. We can say that. This is very useful. So again, he doesn't need any access to Trello or any of our project management tools. And in fact, we can see this note as well. Now, this is all synced, two-way sync back to Trello. So even if we close that and reopen it, we can see the notes down here. And in Connor's world, as we're going to call it again, we go back into Connor's email, and we'll see when he refreshes, it might take a second or two. Oh yeah, I have to log in again. That's fine. So here he goes. He gets this notification from Marker saying new comment, and he clicks on it, and it just says, hey Connor, does this look okay now? He can click on that then to reply, again staying well away from Trello, using all of Marker's tools, and he can say, hey Anne, that's great. Oops, if I can spell it right. And send that off. And that's all contained here within the Marker area here. And again, Anne doesn't really need to leave Trello again. We can go back into her agency, and click here, and we'll see that all of this is still here within the Trello board. So that is a very useful part of the tool as well, I feel.
Interesting, but for Connor, it might get a bit overwhelming to manage all the feedback from his inbox. So is there a way that you could potentially give Connor, the client, access to the entire list of the feedback that he has submitted?
All right. Okay. Yes. So this is what we call this in Marker is inviting them as a guest. So they can be a guest on our destination. So if I click here and invite Connor as a guest, and I'll say yes, invite guest. This just takes a while. I think my internet is struggling with the webinar on it and everything else. So hopefully this will come in a sec. So what can I mention as this is happening? Again, we're not giving access to Connor to our Trello boards, but what we are giving him access to is what we're calling a guest portal in the
I think you can reload.
Oh yeah, so it's gone through there now. Great. So I just go into his email and hopefully he gets his email in. Sorry, no, there's a lot of changing of windows. Let me just go back to his email here. Yeah, that'll take a second. Okay, so we'll just close this as we're waiting and go back to the Trello board. Okay, we'll wait for the email. Yeah, so here we have it. Sorry about that. You've been invited by Ann Anderson to report feedback, and now Connor can go in and view any by logging in here. He can view any feedback. Apologies now. Just give me a second. Yeah, it just takes a second. My apologies. Okay, so now he's got this view where he can view all feedback given on this this specific website. He can view it from himself and from others, and that's very useful as a guest to ensure that there's no sort of duplication of bugs or duplication of feature requests going in there. So that's called the guest portal, and that's a very useful way of allowing your clients in to view all this information.
Interesting. All right. Thank you. And so the status that I see is synced with the Trello board, right? Even if I don't have access to Trello.
Exactly. Everything here is synced to the Trello board. So you can see that all of these older issues are archived and the top issue here has just been resolved. So so everything is a two-way sync. It's probably one of the top benefits of using Marker.io, this two-way sync,
Sounds good. All right. And I have one last question. Before Marker.io, we had a web design agency. It's basically why we created Marker.io in the first place. And we were building WordPress sites as well. And something that was really important for us was to be able, as an internal team member, to report feedback, but more advanced feedback than just collecting client feedback, if you know what I mean. I was hoping that there would be a more advanced experience as an internal team member when I'm reporting feedback. Is that possible?
Okay. Yes, that is possible. So again, just briefly on Connor's version of the website, we see when he's reporting feedback,
he's been logged out of the WordPress. Okay. That's why he's not seeing the...
So he gets kind of a smaller version, kind of a more standard option when he is... Yeah, very good. So this is working. So he gets this smaller guest form here with a small amount of information to fill out. And that's correct. Then let's say someone like Anne, who is a member of the Marker group, is... Sorry, no.
Let me just go to the website to the right.
Website, yeah. And we click on reporting a bug for Anne. We see we get a way more. Basically, this is synced to Trello in this instance. So all of these fields are pulled from Trello, and so Anne can do things like changing the list that the bug is going to go into. She can select different members. So let's say Mark here is a junior developer working for Anne. So she could assign tasks directly to him. She can select like labels like red for urgent and due dates, and a lot more advanced information can go in when somebody is a member in the team. So that's kind of and we can so that's kind of the best way of allowing people who are more technical, I suppose you would say, to add more advanced information into the bug ticket
All right.
issue. So that's probably a way around that.
Sounds good. Does anybody in the room still have question for Joe? If you have, feel free to use the chat and we can get back to you. But if not, then I think this is pretty much a good overview of how the WordPress plugin with Marco.io can work. So good job.
Thanks a lot, Gary, and thanks a lot everyone for attending as well. I know everyone's busy these days, and it's nice just to have a few people here to explain our product to you. So, and I enjoyed that.
If people have more questions, how can they get in touch with us?
I think the best way to get in touch with us really is to go on our website. Will I be able to do that now? Hopefully.
The website or the app, both.
Or the app. And just go down to the bottom right here and just send us a message here. This is probably the best way to get in touch.
And if they're in the app, they can get in touch also with us?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, if they're in the app, they can get in touch as well. So they can just click on here and chat with us here. So we know who they are, so it starts off nicely like that. So they're probably the best ways to get in touch with us. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So let's wrap it up then.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot again, Gary. I mean, I really enjoyed that. That was one of my first webinar demos, and I really enjoyed it. And I hope I've gotten the point across of how useful this tool is. And thanks very much, everybody, for joining in.
Sounds good. Thank you, Joe. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Take care.